I believe it was Sunday, the Sunday before y'all's holiday. I was in my laboratory and I was concocting some concoctions. And I got a call from the most honorable Equasi 100. And I didn't accept the call. I actually looked at my phone and I seen that I had a missed call. It was the honorable Equasi 100. So I called him back and I asked him, "What's up, brother?" So the honorable Equasi 100 asked me, "Hey man, I wanted to know, have you seen this video by this guy, New Possibilities?" And of course, I informed the most honorable Equasi 100 that no, I get irritated when I hear someone scraping their fingernails across a chalkboard, and or I just don't have a desire to watch paint dry, which is what.
So, I mean, don't you find it odd that somebody would be so moved by one of my videos that they would feel the need to call up their YouTube daddy to complain about it? Don't you find it odd that someone would be so moved by one of my videos that they would have to team up with another YouTuber in order to respond to my video? Don't you find it odd that you have this man that is always complaining about people being bitch made and weak and all this and that, kowtowing to another man, referring to this man as the most honorable multiple times? I mean, this is a man who is disrespectful towards great leaders like Martin Luther King and others, but yet he calls a YouTube personality most honorable. I mean, and these are the kinds of people that had the nerve to be talking about who's effeminate. You got this guy, Equasi 100, who basically bit his whole style off of this David Carroll guy. David Carroll is his mentor, his leader, his master, the one that he gets his marching orders from. I mean, these guys are pathetic. I mean, they talk about how somebody is so insignificant, but yet they're calling each other, having conversations about a YouTube personality. I mean, that's just ridiculous, but let's continue on with this nonsense.
What I basically consider New Possibilities videos as. But be that as it may. So I told the brother, "No, brother, I ain't seen it. What's going on?" And he proceeded to inform me that this pro-black had made a video whereby he was criticizing the Bachelorette for eliminating all of the Negroes. He was surprised. He couldn't believe it. My God, what is going on?
Now, I mean, this guy is presenting this false narrative that I was surprised. As you see here, I did a video back in March of this year talking about the Black Bachelorette. And in this video, I talked about how she may have a preference for white men. So this is not a surprise at all. I was not surprised to see all these black men eliminated. Anyone who watched this video that I did back in March understands that I talked about how she had a preference for these white guys. I talked about those issues. So this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He hasn't done his homework as he criticizes me for not doing my homework. But let's continue on.
So we chuckled at that whole dynamic, and the Honorable Equasi 100 informed me that he was going to do a video. He was going to get a piece of that subject, and I told him, "Well, save me some, because I want some too." So I believe he has since produced 2 videos, and this is mine piggybacking basically off of his 2 videos. And I told, like I said, this was supposed to be done before y'all's holiday, but I came down ill, so I'm doing it now. That when you look at how this Bachelorette, and y'all, I know y'all was wondering, when are you gonna get to it? When are you gonna get to it? You know I have to get some perfunctory, y'all know that. But when you look at this Bachelorette, I've done videos on it. I've talked about it. I told y'all what to expect. Time after time after time. And then you have New Possibilities and other pro-blacks who are offended at how this Rachel is eliminated all of the black men. And I told y'all, listen, y'all need to stop calling these sisters bad wenches. Y'all need to stop criticizing them for dealing with these white dudes. Because if that's your only gripe with her is because she's with a white man, you have no ground to stand on. Why is that? Why do I say that? Because you Negroes will deal with white women. And if no possibilities...
Now, before I go any further, I just want to point out this. As far as I'm concerned, I'm consistent. Anyone who's familiar with my channel know that I am not one-sided when it comes to this interracial relationship issue. I have addressed black men who date and marry outside of the race, and I have addressed black women who do the same. So there is no inconsistency when it comes to me. I'm not one of these people that talk all this black power stuff and then run around with a white woman or an Asian woman or some Latino woman. I love black women exclusively. So let's continue with this.
And the rest of those pro-blacks actually looked at that Bachelorette, there would be no way in hell they could criticize Rachel, because they would know that the men on that program, particularly the black men, date white women. So how you just gonna criticize her?
Number one, again, I didn't just criticize her. In the very video that I pointed out, the video that I did on the Bachelorette, I also talked about that guy Tyrese and him marrying this non-black woman and pretending like she's black. So it's not just one-sided with me. And we'll continue. We'll continue listening to this guy, and I'll respond further.
Will, one of the last Negroes that she got rid of, out of his own mouth, Will said, "I am not physically attracted to black women."
Now, that's not what he said. I actually watched the episode that he's talking about. I watched it after I did my video. And when I watched that episode, first of all, after watching it, it doesn't change anything that I have said in any of my videos, with regard to this issue of the Bachelorette. As expected, it changes nothing. So that's the first point. The second point is this. That guy did not say that he is not attracted to black women. That's not what he said. He said that he primarily dated white women. He said that he grew up in a predominantly white environment. That's what he said. So he didn't say he wasn't attracted to black women. That's not what he said. And I don't give that man a pass. I don't excuse what he did. His track record. But when it comes to dating this woman, the fact that this guy had been in relationships with white women in his past, how is that any different from her choosing to date these white men who have never been with a black woman, period? So that's one point that I have to point out. And, I don't think that alone, the fact that this guy had been in relationships with white women in the past, I don't think that alone is a basis for him to be eliminated. That's just my understanding. I don't see it that way. And another point is this. That's one black man out of many black men who were on that show. One black man that talked about how he dated primarily white women because he was in a primarily white environment. That's one guy. What about all those other black men that got eliminated? What's the excuse for those black men? You had a black lawyer. You had other black professionals that weren't on there talking about how they had been with just white women. So I think that is a lame excuse to justify what this woman did. To justify, to try to explain away the fact that all those brothers got eliminated. And More likely than not, this woman is going to keep this brother around, this guy Eric, so that it will appear as if she's giving the brothers a chance. When I think that more likely than not, she will not be with that guy Eric. More likely than not, and I could be wrong, but I'll tell you why I don't think that she'll be with him. First of all, he's black, and she didn't go on that show to meet some black guy. That's clear to me, given the fact that most of the brothers got eliminated. That speaks for itself. The fact that she went on The Bachelor before pursuing some white guy. So it's clear that she didn't come on that program to be with a black guy. So that's number one. Number two, this guy is not educated like she is. And, this woman comes off as bougie and all that kind of stuff. So it's unlikely that she's going to choose to marry somebody who's just a personal trainer, somebody without any kind of education. The other thing is this. This guy talked about his family life, talked about how he came up hard, how his family was into illegal activity, including drug dealing, and family members have gone to jail. So it is unlikely that this woman is going to be with this guy. All right, so let's continue on.
Blacks, Hoteps. I told y'all the formation. I told y'all the snap count. I told y'all the play they were going to run. And now that that play is being ran, y'all are surprised. And I have to come back and tell y'all, look, y'all got to sit. Fuck it.
Again, I wasn't surprised. Did that video back in March. So what the hell is he talking about? I mean, this guy is talking about somebody not doing their homework, and he didn't bother to do his homework. Because if he did, he would know that I had already talked about this woman having a preference for these white guys. If he had done his homework, he would know that I've done plenty of videos addressing this issue of some black women having preferences for these white guys, idolizing these white guys. So this guy is full of crap. I mean, here you have a situation of the nitpicking Negro. You would think that this guy would be like, oh, we agree on this point about this woman, having this preference for these white guys, and just leave it at that. But no, this nitpicking Negro wants to find a reason to, in his words, argue and bicker and all that kind of stuff. He talks about feuds and conflicts between black men, but here he is trying to create conflict. I hadn't been talking about this clown in quite some time, but yet he feels the need, him and his son, his punk-ass son who parrots his words, emulates his style. They feel the need to keep me in their mouths, to talk about me and to mention me. And I haven't even mentioned these clowns until recently when they brought my name up. But let's continue with this.
Just like that coach. Look, y'all got to sit. Y'all not paying attention to detail.
Nah, man, you need to sit. You're the one that needs to sit down because you didn't even do your homework for this video.
They said that, then it would be understood. But brother, you like to come off as an intellectual. You like to paint yourself as a scholar. So now, how is it then that you are such a scholar and you didn't even bother to look at the program that you're commenting on?
Number one, you don't even have to look at this program to know the direction in which it's going. When you see all the advertisements that feature this woman hugged up and kissing all these white guys, they don't promote her kissing these black guys or any of that stuff. You already know the direction in which it's going. So there's no need to watch every single episode to understand what's going on. The numbers speak for themselves. The fact that you had all those black men on that program and now it's down to one against several white men. That speaks volumes in and of itself. The fact that this woman went on a bachelor program before and competed with all these other women for the white man's affection, that speaks volumes. The fact that Hollywood does not promote positive black relationships, images of strong black families. And this is just an extension of Hollywood. This program is an extension of Hollywood that has no interest in promoting strong black families, that has an interest in promoting dysfunctional black relationships, has an interest in promoting this idea that the black woman or the black man has to go outside of the race to find happiness. So I didn't have to watch that program to understand where it was going. And first of all, I did watch the show afterwards. And after watching the show, that particular episode that you're talking about with these guys and them getting eliminated, that didn't change anything that I said because I, again, knew the direction in which the show was going. It just confirmed the thoughts that I already had about this issue, as expected. And I will end on this note. During this video, David Carroll said that the sister, successful single work-at-home mom, was disrespectful. So instead of hearing from this guy and his interpretation, let's hear what the sister had to say about this issue.
Then you said that I was making fun of new possibilities. I guess you've missed a lot of my commentary on here. You've missed a lot of my YouTube videos. One thing about me is I'm a bubbly, laughing, joking kind of person. And that's one of the reasons why I have started my new channel, Leah Reacts and Katie Blossom Reacts, because me and my daughter, we literally run around all day play fighting with each other and being funny and being silly and making jokes, cracking jokes, right? So when you don't understand that I have a bubbly, funny kind of personality, you're going to misconstrue the way that I behaved or what I said in my video regarding new possibilities. So at no point at all when I laugh in videos, I'm trying to keep some of this subject matter a little lighter.